morning. My name is Estefani Arcay, and today we're going to have a microclass about modal verbs. So, let's get started. First of all, what are modal verbs? Modal verbs are used in conjunction with verbs to express their function. Examples are permission, obligation, lack of necessity, possibility, ability, prohibition, advice, and probability. You must remember that modal verbs are followed by an infinitive but without the word to. Most in the last sentence is an example of a modal verb. Modal verbs are different from other auxiliary verbs as they can stand alone in a sentence. They should always be followed by the base verb word, like play, work, run, and eat, which conjugate verbs such as played, working, run, and eats don't work with modal verbs. Now, there is a list of modal verbs. Must, to have to, or to be highly likely. Must can be used to express 100% certainty, a logical deduction, or prohibition, depending on the context. For example, it must be hard to work 60 hours a week. You must listen to the professor during the lecture. She must not be late for her appointment. It must not be very hard to do. Another modal verb is can, to be able to be allowed to, or possible. Can is a very common modal verb in English. It's used to express ability, permission, and possibility. For example, it can be done. She can sleep over at Sarah's house this weekend. The car can drive across the country. Could. To be able to be allowed to, or possible. Could is used when talking about an ability in the past or for a more polite way to ask permission. For example, Mark could show up to work today. Could I come with you? Last night, I could not keep my eyes open. May, to be allowed to, it is possible or probable. For example, may I sit down here? I may have to consult my plans for Saturday night. She may not arrive on time due to traffic. Might, to be allowed to, possible or probable. Might is used when discussing something that has a slight possibility of happening, or to ask for permission in a more polite way. For example, she might show up to the concert tonight. May I borrow your computer? Should, to ask what is the correct thing to do, to suggest an action, or to be probable. Should usually implies advice, a logical deduction, or a so-so obligation. For example, should I come with her to the dentist? Joe should know better. She should not jump to conclusions. Will, to suggest an action or to be able to. For example, John will go to his second period class tomorrow. She will not drive the Volkswagen. Would, to suggest an action, advice, or show possibility in some circumstances. For example, that would be nice. She would go to the show, but she has too much homework. He would like to know what you think about this presentation. Now that we know the principal modal verbs, we can expand our knowledge and vocabulary. So, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day.